I just think the experience of playing at that position at this level. It's one thing to do it at the high school level, but to have 2 years where you didn't play it as much, and all of a sudden you're thrust in that position. And I thought he did a really good job with our team. And now having a year under his belt, playing against a level of competition, he's seen it at a high level. He's played in big games. He's always been a guy that's been able to handle the basketball. I think where he's gotten better at just really seeing the whole floor, passing up the floor when he needs to, attacking off the dribble when he needs to. And in transition, he's just so tough to guard when he's bringing the ball at you because he's making his free throws. And I just felt like he's a guy, when he started making his free throws, he would be extremely tough to defend because he put so much pressure on you. And then, a small thing but a big thing, when you have a scouting report, now you haven't seen a guy and you're watching him from afar, when somebody says 6'5" or 6'6", you automatically assume 6'2", 6'3". But then when you get in the game, he's a legitimate 6'5" and 6'6", and he's long. And that's another factor that you really don't equate into don't evaluate as far as, man, this guy's really long, he's athletic, he can make plays, he scores around the rim, then he uses his left and his right hand around the basket.
Given his ability to now make those free throws and the way the game is being officiated, is he almost unstoppable, unguardable at times?
Well, I would be able to answer that clearly after the season, but it's just, because I think he has a chance to do a lot of good things. The biggest thing is staying healthy, staying consistent, maintain his level of confidence, which I don't think he'll lose that, and just being able to see things, because what happens is, teams will watch film and say, okay, we figure we can stop him doing this. Let's try to do this. Let's play the percentages. Now that means trapping him in ball screens. Who knows? Now he has to be able to give the ball up quicker. Making him go one way, whichever way that is. And then it's just a matter of seeing it and then doing it because he has the personnel around him and just really doing it.
Dropping him and making him to get rid of the ball is not a bad thing with who he has around him. If you back off of him now, his shot's better.
Yes.
If you get close, he can go by you and either draw the foul or finish. He can hurt you a lot of ways.
Yes, he can. And the thing we talk about is don't settle for the three-point shot because sometimes if a guy's standing 3 or 4 feet back, you still can drive the ball. Now, how does he stop you? If he can't move his feet, he has to stop you with his hands, and that's a foul. So don't just settle for the three because it's there. And I think what he's done a good job with his three-point shot, feet are square, knocking that shot down, not necessarily just really shooting. Okay, I have an opportunity, one bounce, shoot it, but really my feet are set, and I play the percentages, and the percentages say he's better when his feet are set. Yes.
Did you see the improvement in his free throw shooting over the summer when he was taking all those foul shots?
Yes, and it just with him, he obviously shot the ball well in Australia, but I think it's just a matter of relaxing, the follow through, small technique, because he didn't change his shot a lot. I think more spin on the shot, as opposed to sometimes it kind of looked like a knuckleball, but now he has a spin on it.
His shot was all over the place, but now it seems very consistent.
I think so. He's consistent with it, and I've always been a guy, not really just try to change guys' shot, just kind of see things, see it on film, to be consistent with your routine, and then the confidence, because he didn't have a bad shot. It's just a matter of the confidence and doing it on a consistent basis.
Coach, the tournament, the Las Vegas tournament, is kind of your first chance to maybe, get in with a pretty good competition. With obviously, San Diego State on Thanksgiving. Not just San Diego State, but how do you feel going into this one? You might get your first real test of the season.
Well, I say it all the time, and I'm serious when I say it. Every opponent is a test because they always present something differently. And what happens after every game, the next game, they scout something and say, okay, we can take advantage of this. Here's an advantage against Cal. We can do this. So that other team will present that, whatever that is. And it's always great for me as a coach because you go back and you study and watch film. And I think the next game, I haven't watched film on San Diego State. Obviously, Coach Fisher has done a tremendous job. I watched him, live when I was a player at Purdue, and I've seen him for years. So he's been consistent with that, his success. So not surprised about that. But I haven't really spent a lot of time focused on San Diego State because of the current task at hand. But again, for me, they're all the same. Everybody's good. San Diego State, Richmond, West Virginia pressure all night long. They're physical, they're tough. San Diego State the same way. Richmond, a skill of Princeton-style offense, the back doors and all that. But all good coaches, all good teams. But the most important thing right now is East Carolina.
Do you think, just it'll probably bring you guys together because it's over Thanksgiving and you guys are going to be away from home. Is that kind of a bonding experience? Yeah, so
we've done that. I like to feel we're close as a team anyway, but it's always good to kind of get away, neutral site, so to speak, to gauge yourself against some pretty good talent. But as long as we continue to do the things consistently that we're doing and really try to maximize on the little things, and that's what we try to spend a lot of time in talking about as a staff, the little things. Let's be consistent with that. And that's it's easier said than done. It's a hard thing to do.
Is there a particular focus going into the East Carolina game, something you want to see tweaked or improved from the last
Well,
game?
the most important thing, just to be sound. You can't, you get up 15, 20 points, and all of a sudden you lose the focus on the defensive side of the ball. Small breakdowns, things you spend time on. Or when you're subbing guys in and out, it can't be a case we're up 20, okay, it's my time to do a few things on offense. You have to be sound from start to finish, because the guys that come off our bench, these aren't guys that just get minutes because, let's give you a few minutes. These are talented basketball players, so that means there shouldn't be any drop-off. But vice versa, even when starters come back in the game, there can't be drop-off. We have to maintain on both sides of the ball.
Is this something you've seen a little bit of so far?
Yes, and I think that's the biggest key. But also when you have leads like that, there's an opportunity of what we call mental complacency. All of a sudden you get relaxed. Oh, we up. Man, you play the game the same way from start to finish.
Is that easier said than done, especially with returning guys who haven't had an awful lot of games recently where they're up 20 points in the first half? It's a new scenario to them.
It is, but we try as a staff to put a premium on the defensive side of the ball, because the offense, it is what it is. You move the ball, you have space, and you got a shot. Whether the score is you up 10, 15, 20, you have to take that shot. You can't pass up shots on offense. But on the defensive side of the ball, like, for example, we had breakdown where certain guys that shouldn't crash the offensive glass because their assignments to get back on D. Now they're crashing the glass. Well, you'll pay for that down the road. Just those type of things we need to be consistent with. Again, it's not the opponent we're playing against, it's how we play the game.
What are your thoughts on East Carolina? What's kind of your scouting report on that?
One of those teams, when you have the starting five guys between like 6'5" and 6'8", 6'9", they can switch a lot of things. They're zone, they have length, they have size, they'll press you, they'll 2-2-1 you. They'll make you have to go over the top and make plays. If you can't consistently make perimeter shots, it'll be a long night for you. And then on the offensive side of the ball, they have White, who's a really good shooter, lefty shooter, can shoot the ball very well. He's shooting probably 55, 56% right now from three. They have guys that crash the glass. The biggest key with those guys in their initial offense, when you think the play is stopped, when that ball hits the rim, you better do a great job in boxing out. If not, you're in trouble.
So they really attack the offensive glass.
They do. They've shot 70 free throws in the first two games because they get to the glass. Again, it's just one of those teams. They're not so concerned, and again, I'm not in the locker rooms. I don't know what they're thinking, but the shot goes up. If it's a missed shot, it's not a big deal. Let's get it off the glass. And I think for our guards, not just our 4s and 5s, but our guards have to box out because, again, their starting point guard's probably the same size as Tyrone. They go 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", 6'8". So you have to do your job there.
You talked about how Kingsley and Cameron kind of maybe struggle against kind of smaller, kind of quicker bigs and stuff. The tallest guy on East Carolina is Dane Reich, and he's 6'10", and he plays like 3.5 minutes a game. So it looks like they have a much smaller lineup. So does that mean we should expect to see less of Kingsley and Cameron tomorrow?
I don't think so. In watching them on film, I think they have an opportunity to play more. And I think if it presents itself, I think Ivan has a chance to play more at the 4-2 or one of those guys at the 5 with the way it looks on film. Now we'll see how it goes in the game.
Ivan had that trouble with that 6'6" guy against Carroll as the smaller guy. Do you find that sometimes it'll still creep in with him where, I'm 6'11", he's 6'6", 6'7", I'm bigger, I'm probably better than him, where he kind of lazes off a little bit?
I don't know if he takes it for granted. I think what happens is any hand check, any bump is a foul. So it's just, can I be as aggressive as I like to be on defense? And we try to call any hand check, any type of movement, any bump, impeding guys moving in practice. We try to call a foul every chance we get. And I just think it's not that he can't defend guys, but it's just, man, I don't want to foul. I don't want to sit on the bench. I think in his 2 games he's done a great job when he's on the floor, but he gets in foul trouble, and I think that's the biggest key for him is playing without fouling. And some of those fouls, his teammates put him in tough positions, and he did what he had to do.
What parts of Tyrone's game still need, everything constantly I'm sure you want to work on, but is there anything in particular
Defense.
Defense still?
Definitely defensively, because he has the tools to be an elite defender. But just being consistent with that, really, because I think the toughest thing, and you see it in the NBA, the toughest thing I think to defend is the ball screens. So when you go on the ball screen, you get hit in so many different ways. In most cases, it's the point guard in the ball screen. So just being able to fight through the ball screens without fouling. getting over the top and getting back under that guy, which, again, is not easy because that's the number one thing to defend in the NBA. And it's the toughest thing to defend because you can probably do it 9 different ways on the floor. But I think that's the biggest key, just to consistently defend from start to finish, because he's rebounding the basketball. He's doing those things, but just really defending.
Are you surprised that even though he doesn't have to score as much, he's actually scoring more? Or is that just a function of how efficient he's been?
I just think the efficiency, he's almost shooting 70% from the field. Because it's not like he's taking a lot of shots. It's not like he's taking bad shots. And again, I've said it before, he plays the point guard for us, but his job is to take what the defense gives him. Just the same thing I would tell Jabari, Jordan, Ivan, Jalen, take what the defense gives. It's not a case, okay, this guy hadn't had a shot, let me throw him the ball and force a pass to him. And Tyrone come down in transition, the lane is wide open, he has to score it. Now, until they stop that, we'll go to plan B. But he knows to continue to put pressure on the defense. And I think, Jalen really did a great job in the last game, like he did in Australia. When he gets it off the glass, when he rebounds the ball and goes with it, we're a much tougher team to defend in transition, because now you have to guard him in transition. That's tough.
Going off Jalen, he's very aggressive in the paint, but it seems like sometimes he tends to kind of force out some kind of difficult shots. How do you try to sort of channel that aggression to be a good thing, but still making sure he's making the right decisions?
No, I don't want to channel that. The thing about, again, a guy that comes in and watch film, so he understands, he sees it, but you want him to continue to put pressure on the defense, because a guy at 6'8", he's moving, he's fast. I think he had two travel calls in the last game, legitimate calls. They were good calls. So now it's just a matter of understanding, watching film, know where your feet are, make good moves, make sound moves, and that's it. But no, you never want to challenge that. I like where his aggression is. I like him to be more aggressive, to be honest with you, and to be in attack mode. Because, again, when he gets it off the glass and going, then we're that much tougher to defend.
That's good.
You mentioned last week, I think, that you weren't sure totally on whether or not Brandon was going to be redshirting. What are you thinking?
We're talking with him, just making sure we're in line with NCAA rules, whether we'll do that or not. So we don't know yet.
Making sure you're in line with the rules because he's played a little bit.
Yes, per NCAA rules, I don't think you can redshirt after your freshman year, unless you're injured.
Could you find a rule? Do you think he can find a rule on this team this year?
Oh yeah, he can make
In
shots.
rotation?
Oh yeah, he can make shots. Brandon can make shots. He plays well in practice, but I just think if there was an order, you would have Tyrone, Sam, and Brandon. But I don't think he can't play with those guys. I mean, it's like Sam and Tyrone plays together, because again, he's a guy that can make shots. He's really improved. But you always like to give a guy every opportunity to be successful on the floor. And sometimes it's part of it. You have 13 scholarships, and that's the downside of it.
How nice is it for you and for Tyrone that Sam's playing as well as he is right now?
It really helps because, Sam, he facilitates, and again, I think he has a chance to be an all-league defender. He pushes the ball. He's improved his ability. I shouldn't say improved because he works hard, but his confidence to be in attack mode offensively, that's the biggest key, because he works extremely hard on his craft. He shoots a lot of shots, works on his handle, attacking the rim. And I just think as long as he stays consistent with that, he'll be fine. As I say, that's a really good 1-2 punch at that position. And again, they both can play together as well.
Tyrone said something about how there were times in the summer that you had them shoot X amount of shots. Do you remember what those numbers were?
Well, we just get, some days it'd be 2,000 shots a week. Because what happens in July when you're recruiting, and even sometime in the fall we would do it, you can't be here as a coach because you're recruiting. So we just chart different shots. So it'd be 2,000 this day. You have to make this many shots at this particular position. And what we do, we go off charts. We play the percentage. Like, for example, say Tyrone shot 600 shots last year. Most of his shots were from this spot. He likes shooting from this spot. And then you'd ask him, he'd say, well, I like shooting from this particular spot where his percentage was probably lower at this spot. So then you help him understand this where you need to shoot most of your shots. But you still work on a lot of areas, but just a premium on where you percentages say where you're best at.
And did you chart those, how many of those he made and stuff?
Yes, we chart every shot. Not now during the season.
No, I mean during the summer.
But during the summertime and in the fall, we charted all the shots where guys took shots, at free throw shots, percentage of shots, yes. And so now when you see these guys, when you say, man, he likes shooting the ball right there, where his percentages say he's probably best at that spot. Or you see a guy like Matthews, you did the percentages, he really improved from the time of spring up until now of making plays off the dribble. So now he dribbles more in the attack of the rim with his shot fake. So, and you help the guys when they see percentage and numbers, they see video and say, okay, I got you, coach. But it's amazing in your mind what you think is good. And then when you allow them to see and they see the percentages, okay, let me make the adjustments.
Did that allow you to see how much better shooter he was gonna be this year?
Tyrone?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, the thing with Tyrone, but we showed Tyrone last year when he hit that rough patch, like it was a 6-game stretch where he really struggled, just to really come back and watch film and look at the percentages. He was probably taking too many threes off the dribble. So settle down, more catch and shoot threes, attack the rim, settle on your pull-ups around the rim as opposed to leaning and floaters, and he got better at it. And the same thing, so now he understands, and that's the great thing about film. We spend a lot of time in helping the guys. Here's the film, this is what you need to see, and not wasting time, but just valuable minutes. Just bottle this up right here, and you'll be successful. Because you have to play the percentages, and all these guys, to their credit, are really good at being students of the game, so to speak, and say, okay, because most guys can say, oh, well, I'll just do it because coach says do it, but they see it, they understand it, and they want more video, and it really helps.